Hey Nerwalls, I'm your host Luke Nerwall. Today we're going to be reading Ask Reddit. Former obese people of Reddit. When did you realize you need to lose weight ASAP? Part 3. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more weight loss videos. We went and got family pictures taken. I knew I had gained quite a bit of weight after having my thyroid removed, but this just really drove it home for me. I still have yet to send out a copy of our family pictures. My son, 13, has also been teased for having a fat mom, and that's just heartbreaking as well. Both of these things were wake-up calls to me. I am still obese, but I'm more motivated than ever to lose the weight. Biggest I got to was 250. I saw a picture of myself and was disgusted. I'm not sure why. I've seen myself in pictures lots of times, but this time it was different, I guess. Anyways, I vowed I would never be fat again, and I'm currently at 169. I was kidding myself for a long time. I never knew my highest, but I can guess just based on how my body felt. I really wanted my BMI to have only been as high as overweight, but I just confirmed I was obese. My final straw was how uncomfortable it was to sit in the car. It wasn't so big I couldn't close the seatbelt, but I was fat enough that sitting was awful. If I sat straight, I couldn't reach the pedals. If I slouched, my back hurt. My drive to work is only 20 minutes, but that was unbearable at my highest weight, which I think I was only at my highest for like a month or two before I realized and started making changes. I'm now down 20 pounds since I started tracking and probably 30 from my highest weight. I feel so much better. I still have about 40 to go. Easter Sunday, 1997. My aunt says, "You would be very good looking if you weren't so heavy." I had to prove her wrong. Crash diet, lost 90 pounds in 3 months. She wasn't right, but it did change my life. I got promoted at work and made a lateral move to another company a couple years later. I wasn't technically obese, but I was pretty close. I was in a boys only school, this is in Singapore, until I was 16. Never saw a point in losing weight. At 17, we have junior college, where there are girls. So since there were suddenly going to be girls in my life, I thought I should lose weight. So I did. It wasn't so much about believing I had to be slim to get a girl, so much as it was, if I get a girl, I probably like her. Even though she likes me for my personality, I like her enough that I don't want her to have to put up with the whale man. When I woke up on January 22nd, 2013, I got out of bed and went to the washroom just like any other day. I washed my hands and I glanced up to the mirror and I saw myself. I really saw myself for possibly the first time. I was fat. I was ugly. I felt disgusted at what I saw looking back at me. It was like suddenly realizing that I had been avoiding looking at myself in the mirror for many years. Just stare down at my hands while washing up and move on with my life, ignoring what was right there in front of me. I felt tears coming, and then I just got incredibly angry. I was angry at myself and my situation. I realized how much I hated my life and how uncomfortable I felt every day and everywhere I went. I realized how much pain my body was in on a daily basis. Then I thought, you're 22 years old. What is wrong with you? I weighed somewhere around 480 plus pounds. I knew that I needed to change who I was and what I looked like. I stared at myself through the angry tears and made a commitment that somehow, some way, I was going to change. I have now lost at least 255 pounds and I've gone from a 5 to 7 XL shirt down to a medium. I feel amazing. The moral of this post is that you absolutely cannot change until you look at yourself and decide that you need to take action. Take some time and plant yourself firmly in front of the mirror and analyze your body. What do you love and what do you wish you could change? Is there something you are ignoring on purpose because you're afraid of truly seeing yourself objectively? Do yourself a long-term favor and be honest as you look. You might thank yourself later on in life for finally taking action. Don't be afraid of the emotions. Live them. Let them out. Make that change. Nobody else can do it for you. When I was 16, I was 5'4" and weighed about 165 pounds. Not morbidly obese, but I was pretty damn chubby. During lunch one day at school, one of the girls I knew, Beverly, was complaining loudly that the swim team needed a boy who could do the butterfly stroke. I stupidly said that I knew how to do the stroke, having learned because my parents would put me in swim lessons during the summer vacations of my youth to try to get me to lose weight. Everyone laughed. One of my friends even saying that I would probably not be at risk of drowning since I would float. A day later in English class, Beverly walks by my table and says, "I talked to Coach Amy, you're in the team." Our teacher had us sitting in these big table in groups of 4 in this room, and the stoner kid Sonny says, "A bummer, dude, you're gonna have to wear a Speedo." "Nuh-uh, I don't have to wear a Speedo, right?" Beverly replied, Yeah, what do you think we swim in, trunks? There's too much drag." This was in May 2001. By August 2001, thanks to me being a teenager I guess, I had dropped down to 130 pounds and had grown to 5 foot 6 inches. It was enough that my family doctor privately asked if I had developed an ED during my checkup before school started. I laughed and told him I just stopped eating so damn much and that I started to run and swim laps daily. I looked pretty good in that Speedo. When the largest regular size at the store, i.e. not big and tall, barely fit. That was about a month ago. Down like 7 pounds already. Hope to keep it up. I was going into my last year of undergrad and was facing and loneliness. I was 235 pounds at 5 foot 11 and was slowly gaining weight. I tried to see where I would be in 5 years and then 10 years, which I didn't like very much at all. The same day I went to the university gym and started lifting weights. Dad's been lifting all his life. Mom competed in bodybuilding. I did a chest and arms routine and then did the thing I hated most, running. I was dreading it, but swore a blood oath that I'd at least finish running for one song on my device, no matter what song came up. No walking. I at least had to make the effort to jog. Now I'm 205 pounds and cutting weight again. The lowest I've been is 179. It's pretty fun to bulk and cut. If my lazy fat bum could do it, anyone can. I should also mention I gave up fast food and liquid calories full stop for the first year. If I didn't cook it myself, I didn't eat it. I was getting Chinese takeout at a place across the street from the trade school I was attending. The wall on the left side as you approach the register is all mirrors. I had been in there dozens of times before, but this time I turned and looked at myself in the mirror. I saw myself standing there in my XXL shirt about to stuff my face with greasy Chinese food. In that instance, I remember being overcome with an intense feeling of disgust. I was disgusted with what I saw in the mirror. From that moment on, I changed my entire life. I changed my entire diet. I went gluten and dairy free and stringently controlled my portions. That alone allowed me to lose 70 pounds. Once I started to plateau on my weight loss, I began to exercise, which helped me get to where I am now. Total lost was 140 pounds. Around 10 years ago, I was hospitalized with a serious infection. At the end of the stay, they took me down to the basement and put me on an industrial scale, 487 pounds. This was after 10 days of hospital stay where I wasn't eating much. Guesstimate on high weight was 500 to 525 pounds. You would think that an experience like that would be a wake-up call, and it was for a few months. I dropped down to 420 or so, but the same bad habits crept up and old habits took over, and I regained it all back and then some. Over the next few years, my health deteriorated. I wouldn't see a doctor, so there's no corroboration for this, but I had a number of T2 diabetes symptoms. Eyesight was getting poor, infections, and other things. My legs were really bad, extreme venous insufficiency. I couldn't walk more than 100 feet at a time. Mental was shot. I'd given up on life. Fast forward to January 1st, 2015. New Year's resolution time. Eat better, stop eating takeout, and stop drinking soda and anything else similar. Made some progress, but I never really had a plan. I'm 45 at this point, and it was like I was 15 for 30 years. I finally broke down and bought a scale that would support 550 pounds. I was so friggin' nervous. What if I'm over 500 pounds? I strip down and get on the scale. 455 pounds. Frig yeah, success. Really? Am I seriously this friggin' happy at being 455 friggin' pounds? That was my wake-up call, being happy that I weighed less than I was afraid of being. Long story short, 3.5 years later, I am down to 250 pounds, half the man I used to be. It's still a struggle, but I'm doing well now. I can go on about how I did it, but in the end, you just need to do it. One piece of advice I want to give, if you are young and overweight, please do something about it today. It only gets worse. I've frigged up my life in so many ways, physically, financially, mentally, all because I didn't take my health seriously. And that brings us to the end of the video, narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more weight loss videos to help you stay on track.